Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Ready to Love season 7, but y'all know I count the resort season, so season 8 in my book. um Episode 8. And let me tell you, this episode did not disappoint. It's called Nair in the Hair. Baby, there's a lot to unpack with this episode. I took a lot of notes. Like, they took the week off to show us the 100th episode and came back, but I enjoyed it. There's a lot of notes, so you want to watch to the end. I want to just go ahead and jump right into it because there was just a lot going on. The men had to meet the exes, so y'all know that's a lot of drama each and every time they do it. But let me not forget, if you've been here before and you're not yet subscribed, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and be sure to like the video to push it through the algorithm. If you're new here and you enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe and like. You're going to love it on this channel. Give it a try and hit the subscribe. Okay, so the ladies meet with Tommy at the church lounge, and he tells them it's time to meet the exes, and he acts surprised, like, oh my gosh, what? Well, Ready to Love, if y'all would start casting people who actually watch the show, they would know that this is a part of the process each and every season. But I digress. So Tommy says it'll give them a chance to like see their connection, see what they want and what they don't want. And then he proceeds to say, Tommy making sense. Nephew Tommy, like, he has to remain the host. Like, y'all be trying to drag him. I love Nephew Tommy as the host. So Jeffri stayed back, and she wanted to tell Tommy that basically she ain't bringing no eggs, point blank period. She said she was in a 12-year relationship with a guy since high school, and she had children with him. They broke up, and she dated another man for 3 years, and that's her youngest child's father, and they both, are not involved in their children's lives. So, since she feels like neither one of the men are involved in their children's lives, why would she reach out to them to see if they're going to be on the show? Pretty much. Now, my thoughts is I'm sure maybe she did confirm later on in the episode that she did casually date in between. It was nothing serious. Usually when these exes episodes come about, they don't be bringing nobody they was real serious with. It always be somebody that was casual. So I feel like, girl, you could have digged in the archive and bought somebody. Everybody loved the opportunity to be on TV. But, I understand how she feels. So Tommy tells her, Jeffri, tell your connections why they are not mean exes. And I don't know if we could take any more exes, quite frankly. Because, the exes that we did get to see, baby, they bought enough. So we start with Morgan's ex. And she said it wasn't nothing serious, which just goes back to what I was saying earlier. Now, she said it was nothing serious. But let's get into it. He kind of gives me Lyndon vibes. Like, he don't look like Lyndon or nothing, but he seemed like, because she said we used to run the town together and all that. He seemed like, maybe he might be into that nightlife. And so her ex, Junior, asked Lyndon what he likes about Morgan. Lyndon says, oh, everything. And Morgan gonna say, oh, that's sweet. Girl, what? Morgan, not you being so easily impressed. Like, he said everything because he can't think of nothing because he don't have no real connection with nobody, not even you. So, Tony, and then he even tried to flip it because he was like, well, you've known her longer. What do you like about her? Nah. I asked you what you like about her, and if you can't answer the question, that's all you got to say. But when Tony arrives, he said he was not impressed by Junior because he's very short. Tony gets real jealous. Like, he gets jealous easily, and they both territorial, so that's probably why they cling to each other the way they do. Junior also asked Tony what he likes about Morgan. He says he's physically attracted to her, and they connected on a spiritual level as well. Morgan asked her ex, like, okay, well, since you asking them, like, what did you like about me? And he was like, you already know what I like. Nah, see, that's why you the ex. That's why you the ex, and sometimes we need to hear it one more time. I don't care if you think I already know. Say it again. So Junior said he wanted a serious relationship, but Morgan wasn't ready. She kind of confirmed. He said she's smart and crazy, then proceeds to tell us a story. He said he went out one night, he had fun, came back home, and while he was laying in bed, Morgan was like, oh, I told you not to wash your hair with shampoo. You need to try this. And so she starts pouring something in his head and rubbing his head, and he rubbing his fingers through his hair, and his hair is like coming out in his hand. She put Nair in his hair. Morgan, that's a whole nother level of craziness. Like, girl, come on, sis. Come on. Not Nair. Like, even if I've been in a situation, like the worst of the worst situations, I never thought to actually do that. Like, but anyway, he said she thought he was cheating. Well, I thought the relationship wasn't all that serious. So if it wasn't a serious relationship, then how you cheating? Like, the math ain't mathing. Morgan said the last straw for her is when she had strep throat. She had logged on to IG, and when she got on Instagram, she saw Junior was on there with his ex, and he never didn't tell her he was going out with her or nothing. So she felt a way about that, and she still seems triggered by that. So Junior asked the guys what they would have done differently, or like what they would do differently in a situation with Morgan. They both said they would communicate, unlike Junior did. In his confessional, Tony is bothered because he's realizing Morgan did have feelings for her ex. Like, it wasn't just no casual fling like she tried to make it seem. So he definitely in his feelings about it. And Junior asked, like, how did they know Morgan was the one? Like, they was like, I'm assuming at the mixer, you was in the house, there was all these beautiful women. Tony was like, well, she was attractive, but there was a room full of gorgeous women. There was. All the women on the cast are very beautiful ladies, but Morgan is a baddie. Like, let's not. So Morgan is getting concerned about her connection with Tony. If you don't make it with Tony, honey, you don't have no connection, because why is Lyndon still there? So Cynthia is introducing her children's father to Andre and Anthony. Have we seen a children's father or mother on Ready to Love? This may be a first. I don't know, Cynthia. You should have picked him. You might have should have picked somebody else. I'm just saying. So her ex, to me, this was intense, y'all. He looked young in the face. He look kind of young in the face, but he no nonsense. He ain't come to play. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. He's not playing no games. Okay? So Andre arrives first, and Cynthia's ex said, this your guy over here with the shag? I hollered. And then he said it, and Andre was like standing right there. Like, he wasn't like walking in from over there somewhere. Like, he was right there at the table. Like, oop. So I'm like, okay, y'all already getting off on a bad foot. James, that's the ex name. He off the chain. So Andre sat down, and, James immediately on 100. Andre said, okay, so you're Cynthia's ex? And James said, what you said? I can't hear you. Speak up. Who's y'all? Andre said he's 39 with no kids. I didn't realize Andre was that old. Okay, black don't crack. And James asked why, like 39 with no kids. I think that's if he wasn't acting the way he was acting, I would assume that's a normal question. People tend to normally ask that when you get to a certain age and you don't have children. Like, people want to know why. But it was just the energy and the vibes James was giving off. Yeah. So, Andre proceeded to explain, like, he just, didn't meet the right woman or whatever. And every time Andre he answers a question, James said, well, how I know you telling me the truth? How I know you ain't lying? How I'm supposed to well, James, I guess you ain't. Then why are you here then, huh? I understand the question, especially y'all on a dating show on TV. Because he even said, like, Andre had made a comment when he sat down. He was like, she's a strong woman. He was like, how do you know that? How you know it's not a facade? It's not her representative. And how I know I can't trust you? That is true. Maybe she on there fronting as well. But, I mean, give people a chance until they show you why you shouldn't. So, James asked Andre his relationship history, including flings. He want to know it all. One night stands, everything. Somebody you was just texting, all of it. But Andre don't want to go into detail about the flings. He said he had about 3 or 4 serious relationships. Was it 3 or was it 4? I mean, with that small number, you should know. Okay. Instead, Andre proceeds to say, I'm very successful in what I do. And, James like, I ain't asked you about that. Like, what you telling me? I asked you about your flings. I want about your relationships. This is a dating show, okay? So Anthony arrives and the tension is thick. He can feel it. And Andre said, he's very successful. He's been in Forbes magazine, had multi-million-dollar companies. Red flag, flag on the play. Andre's there for clout. Because it's not like he made mention of it once. It's like, okay, you proud you was in Forbes, like, even though it has nothing to do with what we're talking about at all. But okay. But he kept saying it, like, no. Red flag. He ain't asked you nothing about that. He ain't asked you that. So Anthony wants to move on, and he says he has a 5-year-old, so he knows how it is to be a dad because he's a father himself. X wants to know why that didn't work out. What happened with you and the child's mother? And Anthony said they were so focused on their child when they had her and their careers that they didn't make time for each other. And that happens often. I mean, y'all seen it. As soon as the baby comes, then the couple breaking up. It's hard, like, once that dynamic changes in the relationship. But he said he dated one woman after that. And, of course, James don't trust that either. He don't trust a thing. So James asked them, what do they bring to the table? He said, I'm going to start with you, Andre. Because he don't really see it for Andre, so he going to start with him. Andre said, I might not bring nothing to the table. Like, we still getting to know each other. Like, tomorrow I might not even be feeling her. Like, I might not even like her after today. Listen. Andre said, look, I ain't got time for this baby daddy drama. I ain't dealing with it. I think he losing interest in Cynthia because of that baby daddy. I hate baby daddy, though, because of her children's father. James said, look, I'm not about to let you play with her. And Andre said, I can have anybody I want. If you didn't hear me the first time, I was featured in Forbes magazine. Oh, Lord. We don't care. James said, look, I ain't want to know about your credentials. Right. Andre had enough. He got up and left. James tells Anthony, like, he just wants the best for Cynthia because he put her through so much and she was innocent. She didn't deserve that. And James is like, okay, well, let me, it's supposed to be a blended family. Let me give you an example. If your daughter wanted like 10 items, whatever, and Anthony chimes in and he was like, then your daughter would get 10 items too. And then I would ask your son, like, what do he want as well? And we ain't leaving no child left behind, okay? All the kids gonna get something. I thought Cynthia had 2 girls. But I don't. Anyway, James said he likes Anthony's vibe better than Andre's, but he's still suspect. And Anthony was like, okay, I understand you don't trust me. You just met me. But he was like, look, I gotta go. And James was like, no, not yet. I'm not through hazing you. And he was like, listen, get my information from Cynthia and then we'll talk because I'm not going nowhere. I said, ooh, energy. Energy. Definitely complete different energy. Andre was like, look, I might not even want her tomorrow, so you wasting your time talking about what I bring to the table. I bring the table. Meanwhile, Anthony like, look, you don't scare me. I ain't going. I'm here to stay. Or you gonna see me at the family functions and at the birthday parties. So, in his confessional, Anthony said that this isn't just any old ex. Like, they share a child together. He's not going anywhere, so it's a little bit different. He's just a mature man, and I think the fact that he can understand because he has a child as well makes a difference. Jeffri, right now I'm feeling like Jeffri, if he gonna date a single mother, Jeffri seems like she would be the better option for Andre because there's no fathers involved. It seems like the fathers are absent completely, so you don't have to deal with running into them and all that. But that's just how I'm feeling right now in this moment. James act like Cynthia father more than anything. He acting like her protective daddy. And I'm just like, are feelings still there? See, because that's why people be feeling like they don't want to date single parents because they always thinking something's going on or you got this ex lingering. Like, this could hurt her dating life not only on the show with these guys, but also like just out in the regular dating world when the show's over with. But, I mean, I can see I would be like, okay, maybe he really does care for her. But even Cynthia was like, he ain't come here with intentions on wanting to get to know them. He came here on wanting to rub them the wrong way. Moving on, Jeffri met with Blue and Mark Anthony. She tells him why she's not bringing an ex, and her history with her exes. Blue don't know if Jeffrey's just making excuses. Like, he don't really trust it. Like, you couldn't call nobody. Like, he ain't really trust it. Like, what's going on here? Why aren't they around? He don't know if he really believe what she's saying. Mark seems to be more understanding, but that's probably because he ain't serious about Jeffri. According to what the ladies are saying, he don't date women with children, so he probably know after this is over, it don't much matter anyway. So I mean, whatever, that's fine. I don't got to meet nobody. One less ex I got to meet. But that's my opinion. I do see where Jeffri's coming from though. Like, if the fathers are not involved, I'm not calling you, and if those are the only relationships that she considers, then we can't force another relationship on her. But the second ex, I know he had to be the hardest disappointment, because after you've been with somebody and she's brought him around her children, I'm sure, because they have a child together, and then it's like we was together for 3 years or however long, and then you decide when I'm having your child, she said he didn't have any kids. Now I'm giving birth to your child, you gonna up and leave. So you was up here playing stepdaddy, but now when I'm having your child, it's too much. And Jeffri over the single mom life, and I understand. So we go between 3 dates. These dates weren't given much. That's why they crammed them all in together like that. Mercedes, Sue, and Marcia all got their exes meeting their connections. For some reason, these exes look a little different and nice, but like, it's not like they bad looking or nothing like that. It's just, I thought they was gonna look different than they do. Like, I just didn't picture, maybe Sue Ann and her ex the most out of all of them. The other ones I didn't really like. It caught me off guard because I was expecting their exes to look like something else. I don't know what I was expecting. I was just expecting something else. Marcia invited Blue and Tony. So much for Blue putting her in the friend zone. Sue invited Blake, of course, and Anthony. I could have gone the whole episode not seeing Blake and been fine. Mercedes brings Anthony and Mark. Anthony on all the dates, okay? Anthony, he meeting everybody, exes, they mamas, they dogs, everything. So, first of all, Marcia's why he got them bedazzled glasses on? Not the bedazzled glasses. I'm just kidding, because I know people be getting sensitive nowadays. I'm just joking, but they was bedazzled, but I'm joking now. So, Marcia's ex asked what they like about her. Standard question. Tony says she's smart and pretty. Blue says she hits him up first. And women normally don't do that. Like, but what do you like about her, though? Child should have left her in the friend zone. He just wanted to stay on the show. So, Anthony tells Mercedes' ex, like, they're opposites attract. Like, he's in a place where he's ready to invest into someone else and pour into someone else, and he really wants a serious relationship. Mark starts talking about himself and his self-love, and if he don't impress himself first and he ain't worrying about nobody else, I don't know. Some of his responses to questions, like, I can see how it could rub somebody the wrong way or have someone concerned. Because even Mercedes S was like, Anthony was giving like fake confidence or whatever. It was just too much. Like, he was pouring it on too thick for me. So, Sue's date, Anthony shares that he's the oldest of 10 kids, and maybe that's why, he's, takes being a parent and a father so seriously, because he already had to, I'm sure he had to pour into his siblings, the oldest of 10. And Sue's ex asked Blake, how did his last relationship end? Blake gonna say it's an open-ended question. Like, I need more context. No, it's not an open-ended question. It's just as vague and general as the questions you ask Blake, because he don't never be asking no in-depth questions. All his questions is general. But now this is just too general. You need more context. No, you don't. Child, Sue's ex changed the question altogether, and he asks how Blue handles conflict in relationships. He said he doesn't. He doesn't do conflict. Conflict is going to arise in any relationship, though, with your kids, your parents, your coworkers, your friends, and then most definitely in your romantic relationships. But how are you going to handle it when it comes? Not dealing with it is not the answer. I see why Blake is single. I'm starting to see why all the singles are single. So Marcia's ex asked, where she is on their roster. Blue said, we at the ones and twos right now. Everyone, is wanting to know, like, well, is Marcia one or two? And Blue was like, look, he said his confessional, they both number two, okay? Um, she's in the top two, and she's number two, okay? Mercedes asks, her ex asks was like some unfavorable qualities that you just some qualities that aren't like your best qualities. Good question. Mark said he can be hard headed and stubborn. Ooh, child, he must be a Taurus. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that there. Shout out to the Tauruses. Anthony said, he needs to be more open to taking risk. It was giving job interviews, giving textbook answer, but go off. So Mercedes' ex feels like Anthony is ready to be a husband. Sue's ex also likes Anthony, but pick me Sue got some questions like, are you sure? Because I really want Anthony to be here. I really want Blake. Marcia's ex really ain't feeling neither one of them. But I guess he was leaning more towards Tony. But what was Tony's answer? Because he was trying to figure out where she is, where she at on y'all list, what number is she? And Tony talking about some, at this point in the process, Blue, you should know, like, where she's at. Okay, but where's she at on your list? Because I for sure thought Morgan was number one. Okay, but whatever. I think Marcia is going to be the next woman to go because she doesn't have any genuine connections. So Andre is having a one-on-one date at his home with Jeffri. He running out of connections as well, so he better lock this one. He better lock it in. But they was vibing from the start, so I feel like she was just trying to. It was a numbers game for her, and she just needed her numbers up when he left. But now that he back, like bye bye, poof, be gone. My man is back. My man, my man, my man. So they outside. She get there. They go outside. Look at his gorgeous view at his condo. And then he cooked for her. She said it was real authentic Caribbean jerk. Where is he from exactly? Like, they all got accents. That's the thing about Miami. Ooh, these Miami men. We got Haitians, Jamaicans. Ooh, all the red flags is flagging, honey. I'm telling you, they get you, and then you be putting Nair in the hair, okay? So he cooked her some jerk chicken, was feeding it to her. She's like, oh, I'm like a little baby, small baby bites, baby me, baby me. Okay, I see you, soft girl life. I see you, Jeffri. They share a passionate kiss, way more passionate than that forced kiss between her and Mark Anthony. And this is the best connection for Jeffri, in my opinion. I just wish they would go deeper. Like, I feel like he had a deeper conversation, and he didn't even really go that deep. He just asked Cynthia a question, and she got deep on her own. But I ain't seen them, talk about nothing in depth. Maybe they do off camera, but on camera, it's, kind of surface level. But I do think that they are going to be, one of the final standing couples. Them, Blake and Swin, y'all going to force them on us. Who else? I don't know at this point. Let's not jump ahead. I just don't really see it for nobody else, though. I'm just saying. I just hope Anthony up there with somebody. I hope Anthony and Cynthia. I kind of like them. He was giving me the energy today. He was speaking up today. So the ladies meet at the church lounge. Half the ladies picked Anthony. Their exes picked Anthony. Their exes thought Anthony was a better fit. I would have picked Anthony too, just off his answers. Cynthia explains that her date was absolutely horrible, and it was. And Tommy was like, look, even I want to meet James. Ooh, James is a character. I don't know Tommy. So Marcia said, her date was, with her exes, she said blue fold. Tommy said blue folded. Marcia said, yeah, blue fold. Blue folded? Okay, anyway. That was funny to me. You just let it go. Blue fold. Marcia's ex thinks Tony's a better fit, even though he was saying, emotionally, he might not cater and be gentle with your feelings. He's giving dictator. He's giving no nonsense. He's giving Cynthia's ex James. Morgan said her date was bad and said Tony's face tore up when her ex shared something about, their past and something that she had did. And Tommy was like, he had to ask 50, 11 times, what did you do? What did you do, Morgan? And she like, well, it was because he did something to me, but what did you do? Well, it was the way he was treating me. It was at the end of the relationship. What did you do? Well, it was a couple years ago. Girl, what did you do? Finally, she admitted to putting Nair in his hair. They like skipped over that. They glazed past that so fast. No, we need to stay on it a little bit because Morgan, you too pretty to be acting this way. Like, you can't be letting them get the best of you like this. Like, you didn't want a serious relationship, but then you don't want him seeing nobody else. You're going to get Nair. You don't, like, I feel like that could have been a real live lawsuit. You don't put, because she said he had beautiful hair. Now he got to start his baby cornrows from scratch thanks to you. Nope. I don't think she's still carrying it on this way because she's trying to justify it instead of saying, like, you know what, I realize now I was wrong for doing that. It seems like she's still like, listen, I was in the right because he was a liar and a cheater. I don't think Morgan ready for love yet. But that, I don't know. I think she needs to go to therapy and figure that out. And then maybe. But that's just my opinion off of that little clip that I saw. Just saying, because that was concerning. I'd be concerned, and any man who's watching her on here after hearing that better be concerned too. So, Jeffri said, she's connecting with Andre and Mark the most. She said her and Andre was giving soulmate vibes, like they was together in another lifetime, and they gonna see you next lifetime. Maybe we'll be butterflies. But if you feeling like that, then why is Mark Anthony even being mentioned? If you feel like Andre is good, because she even said after the date, she felt like, ooh, marry me now. Honey, you got to give him some more time than an in-home date. So the ladies deliberate, and not enough of them are picking Blake for me. Like, they picked like a few, like 2, 3 people. I think Mercedes and Morgan said Blake. Everybody should have been saying Blake. Like, why is he still here? Blake ain't even really do much, but he did enough. His presence alone is just like, why? Like, go. But Blue's 2 connections put him in their bottom. Like, Marcia was like, look, I've done like the whole friend zone thing, friends with benefits. I've dated people for convenience and just out of comfort, or just as they was just there. I'm not doing it. And Tommy asked Jeffri, like, well, can you see yourself being with Blue? And she said no. So there's that. So right then and there, Blue has no connections. And for me, I feel like I already know what it's going to be. Blake and Blue are in the bottom, and Blake's not phased. He meets a swing. He ain't phased because why should he be? Because he said, I live in the bottom. I've been in the bottom from the start. I've been in the bottom since last season, and I wasn't even on last season. I'm going to be in the bottom next season, and I ain't even going to be on next season. He don't care because he know he ain't going nowhere. No matter what Morgan said or whoever else said it, y'all connections is dropping like flies, and he got Sue locked in. Blue is eliminated, of course. Marcia told him he's not ready to love. I liked her body is snatched. I got that same dress, but she got me wanting to go to the gym because they ain't fitting me quite the same as it was fitting her. I see you, girl. The black girl magic of it all. But that was the end of the episode. Next week looks like it's going to be good. I don't know about Cynthia and Andre. We're going to see. Like, ready to love? Like, I don't see no connections. But, honey, the drama is coming. So, let me know what y'all are thinking down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video for me, please. And subscribe. Check out my other content. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.